Well, hello, my beautiful Aries. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, something that may benefit you during this time is to really visualize the changes you would like to see in your world, if any, of course. Whether it's more money, career opportunities, love, whatever it is you're visualizing, see it like you have it right now, because the Gaia chimes recalibrate your vibrations to align you with manifestation. Something to think about during this time as you take a breath for yourself there. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Aries, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what you're moving through at this moment in time and of course what lies on the other side. Also, I've just brought the competition back, so I'm opening up a competition for one subscriber to win a free personal reading from me, but I'll let you know how to win that a little bit later on because some people are here just for the reading and of course I don't like to waste anyone's time. So let's get straight to it. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Great Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Aries? What do they need to know at this moment in time? What are they moving through? Can you please show them the way? What lies on the other side for their highest good? What do they need to be aware of at this time? Now, I don't know if you noticed with the Gaia chimes, it was actually a very beautiful, wistful kind of tune coming out there. But I do see that you're working hard on something, being really consistent, showing up. It feels like you're hammering away at something in life, trying to create something stable there. But also, and this is coming out collectively for everybody, there's like this one little note in the background that is a little bit off key. So some of you may be looking at how you feel a little bit out of sync with the world at large right now. You may feel there's something afoot where you're trying to make sense of it all. How can everything have changed so drastically, radically, be highly pressurized? And, you know, what's really going on? A lot of you are digging a little bit deeper at this moment in time as we all spiritually awaken there. But coming back to self, because of course that can be the dissonance that's in the background and you're trying to focus on your priorities, your projects, yourself as well. There's a lot of layers to life, so you're trying to do it all there. We have the light bulb. We have, of course, the rose. We have Buddha. So you're trying to silence the noise, trying to live a passionate but simple life where you are protecting your inner peace, removing yourself from the noise, trying to focus on your good ideas. That light bulb can indicate as well that, you know, you are a light. You are someone who has good vibes. You're a passionate energy. You're so compassionate. You're very fiery. You're someone who's very intense, exciting to be with. But you do have the soda bottle, and it's in the past position. So you may feel life was a little bit more exciting a couple of years ago or many years ago or in your past. You may feel that there's this energy of containment right now. that somehow you've lain dormant, that you want to reignite your passion for things or reignite your spark. I feel a lot of responsibility, heaviness on your energy right now because you're trying to grow something or something's important to you right now. And of course, you are going through a period of personal development and growth. And this is where you disconnect. If you think about the rose, which is your first card there, it has been snipped. Okay, so that can indicate deadheading the roses in your life in order to promote growth. So you're detaching from things that perhaps drain you. It's about your energy. This is light. This is a light bulb. This is about all your energy. And it's in a crossing position, so you may be noticing where people, situations, or, environments actually drain your energy right now. And I feel like you're trying to be free from all of those things. Don't get me wrong. You're still, under a lot of pressure because the soda bottle is there. You may feel that there's a lot of pressure right now and you're trying to hold it all together. You're containing something. But, there is this fizziness inside of you, as it were, and I feel there's a desire to let loose, be a little bit more free in your circumstances. Now, that can be applied to many different situations. It can be that, you want to be free of debt, for example, or you want to be free of a negative experience, or perhaps you're trying to cathartically process something from your past that you want to be free of. So I do see freedom for you. This could be independent freedom, could also be personal freedom there, especially when it comes to the world at large or to opportunities or perhaps friendships, relationships, anyone who's trying to micromanage you. But we do have the B, so you're working really hard. I feel this is about you kind of like building your life, building your community, acknowledging who deserves a place in your life, who are your soul tribe. I feel like you are really like doing a bit of an overhaul of your life right now because it seems like every area is kind of affected at this moment in time. But on the earthly plane right now, you just want peace, and that's across the board. That's in the world, that's in your personal circumstances. It can be that you're reinforcing your life philosophy, your beliefs. You're trying to protect your inner peace there. You're trying to fulfill your destiny. You're trying to focus on your true life calling and your mission. There's just a lot going on with you right now, and you're capable of moving through this time period. But I also feel, because I'm being given a symbol in the water right now, and this symbol has come up in the past for a reading. I'm not sure if it was for your sign, but it's showing up right now, and I'm being given the symbol pi. Mathematical symbol there, pi. So this can be infinite possibilities, infinite potential, reaching a higher spiritual realm where you connect infinitely to your higher self. I mean, The Life of Pi was also like a novel that was turned into a movie, and I'm really getting a sense of that as well. So it could be that you feel like the life right now is challenging and that against all odds you prevail in some way. Perhaps you're making a lot of changes. Something big is ending with you, and I feel this is having you emerge a brand new person. It's like you're being put back together in a different way to kind of like experience the next level. You're having an upgrade, and sometimes when we're about to do that, that can feel like a gear shift. So if you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward in life right now and 4 steps back, or you've been having setbacks or things are on hold, I feel like you're about to have this like major propulsion forward, as it were. And for some of you, of course, you may be feeling like, yes, you're going through a period of personal development and growth, and of course there is this energy of changes that you're navigating, and yes, it's a lot of hard work, but you're up to the challenge. You're someone who likes to be moving, be active. You're someone who is determined for independence, inspiration, and success, of course, on whatever it is you're focused on. It's going to be different for everybody, of course. But let's get to your cards. We have the rose. Now, the rose is reward. The rose is sweet, and it takes a lot to blossom. If you think about the very beginning of the rose, it starts off as that little seed. It's hidden away, and you got to trust that the soil is nurturing it. It's kind of germinating. It's doing its own thing. It does that little like wiggle of life where then suddenly it sprouts, and then it pushes its way through the earth. You may be feeling like you're moving through mud at this moment in time, but this is where you are sprouting, you're growing, and all these things that you're connected to are starting to have a bit of a glow up, but it's slow moving, but you're trusting the process there. And of course, the rose, it is considered spiritually and symbolically a reward, sweet reward there, but there's a lot of thorns. So it can be that whatever you're doing right now, it's really hard, but it is starting to blossom. Things are starting to head in the right direction for you. But also this card can indicate that you are witnessing a world that's under a lot of pressure right now, and you are the light. And of course, there's moments where you're feeling a little bit negative. We all do at some point. It can drain our energy. We can feel doubt. We can pick up on negative vibrations, and it feels really heavy. Sometimes we have to acknowledge that when things feel heavy, it's because something right now has kind of like run its course in your life. It's expired in some way, because we've got the skull here. So it can be that you are literally deadheading the roses in your life right now to promote growth. Something has ended. Something's falling away from you right now. And it's been heavy because it's been hard to let go of, or it's been hard to move through this process of release. Whatever it is, I feel like you are releasing it, and it is going to feel lighter for you. But also, let's bring it back to this card, because it says here, femininity and beauty. So of course, the world is under a lot of pressure. I mean, the soda bottle can indicate contained pressure right now. You're feeling the buildup on something. And this can be global events. This can be something within yourself right now. But something that's very interesting that's coming through is, number one, you're trying to lead with love, romance your life a little bit more, trying to reach for the light in all circumstances. But also there's something else coming through, which is there's so many layers to life, okay? And you're choosing what it is that you should focus on, the positive. You're aware of the negative because it's there, but I feel like you're containing it so that you can bring peace. So you're detaching yourself from anything that brings you low vibe or tries to make you feel anxious or low vibration. I feel like you're reaching for something more. And the more positive you are, I feel like the more you're going to see this breakthrough that's about to happen for you right here. But I'm also being given something else. So one moment, please. My guides are really being precise with this, so I have to just take a moment to listen. What I'm being given right now is this energy that when you feel like you're disconnecting from certain things, even things that you felt started to grow and you were invested in, it feels very much like you're being separate from something that isn't aligned with you. And I feel this energy right now that, when you're under a lot of pressure and you feel things are not like moving forward as you want to, it's because you're about to have this gear shift and suddenly springboard, have a breakthrough, and things start to fall together differently. But also, I'm being given this energy of like you realizing how hard it is to navigate a very chaotic world, and there being so many layers. And it's like when you're trying to focus on what you're doing specifically, it can be that you are aware that outside energy, like world events, or they capture your attention and affect your inner energy. So really random. I'm not sure how it's connected to the symbol pi, but it can be that there are infinite possibilities for you to move through this chaotic time. I'm saying chaotic time because you have the dragon. The first word there is chaos. Okay, so you may be like wondering, especially in terms of global events, because even though this is a reading about you, this can be that you're affected by outside circumstances, environments, and it can be that you are wondering, will this chaos ever end? Okay. And of course, there will be some transformation. The world has always been in chaos to some degree, but the last couple of years has ramped up the level of craziness, of course. But it can be that, you are trying to ground yourself in all of this noise, because I really feel this is what you're reaching for. A spiritual attainment, connecting to your life philosophies, reinforcing belief systems, but also you just want peace. Okay, and I feel you want to work hard to move towards advancement in your life. Okay, so there's just this massive kind of like energy hanging over you right now. Like, I just got to do what I got to do to move forward, get on by, and focus on success in some area of your life, whether it is personal development success, diet related, going to the gym, being more active, or whether it is career success or connecting to people who align with you. I feel you're making some big changes in your world, and you're making, headway, but it's hard work. And you are going to have this breakthrough, this realization. To have the light bulb, it can mean that you're going through a major awakening, and you have moments of accepting that that's the path and seeing things that you can see in the world that perhaps other people can't see, or maybe seeing things in other people that some people cannot see. But also, it's in a crossing position, so it's like sometimes you wish you could unsee. some of the things that have been going on in the world, or unsee some of the experiences you've had with people. Because there's this energy here of it's hard work to know, to have knowledge, okay? Because when you go through an awakening, there's no going back, okay? And then you just see through structures, or you see through things in a different way. And it kind of brings peace to some degree, because then you're aware of it, but also it can bring, you know, this contained anxiety or contained kind of like fizziness in the background, where you're kind of like very vigilant and like very focused on, you know, powers beyond your control and how they affect you or your family long term. So there's just something like that coming out right now. I'm not sure how my guides want me to address this, but this too shall pass. And you are in a stable position here when it comes to, you know, outside forces and the changes in the earth or the world right now. So that's something that's coming out. I'm going to remove myself from this energy because this reading's supposed to be about you, okay? But it keeps like drawing out. And I feel because collectively, everybody is being very vigilant right now and watching and waiting and observing and noticing changes and shifts that perhaps you're happy with or not happy with. But at the same time, you're wondering, how do you navigate these things? What does it mean for me? So of course, it will come back to you. And because we have an awakening card there and the Buddha, this can be that you're trying to be positive in these times. You're trying to be the light. You're trying to bring this sense of calm, or find that happiness within yourself, because you're aware that, of course, happiness does not lie outside oneself. It is within. But you may be, of course, working really hard to create stability and structure in your life to a certain degree, so you can be more free. Okay? Now, this card, of course, it says blooming, but also blooming romance, feelings of love, expressing affection. You know, of course, life is too short, and this is about expressing yourself to the people you care about, but also aligning yourself with people who really get you there and sharing a bond. But also, I feel this is more about you kind of like loving yourself a little bit deeper, learning more about yourself at this moment in time, what you're capable of. You know, I do feel with the soda in the past position that a lot of you may have felt things were a lot more exciting, more fulfilling in the past. And right now there's a lot of struggle, a lot of pressure. Don't get me wrong. I feel like you are someone who is very successful. You're achieving a lot right now. I feel like you're making some big decisions, ending a lot of things in your life. This could be moving to new neighborhoods, which means an ending in one place brings a new beginning, ending friendships, relationships that you're outgrowing, evolving away from. You know, when you think about the rose, when it's fully in bloom, it starts to bloom and be at its peak. And you are at your peak right now, but you're also looking at what has run its course in your life. Now, this could be a food substance. This could be something that's been triggering you or hurting you or giving you brain fog or making you feel like racing heart, for example. You could be looking at how everything that you digest informs your body, mind, and soul, because we have here beauty as well. So it could be that you're looking at your beauty routines and rituals. You may be trying to be more active. You may be trying to reshape your body in a way, or you may be trying to just romance your life so you have a little bit more excitement, a little bit more freedom, a little bit more independence. You know, you could be working really hard right now to retire early. Whatever it is, I feel like there's this energy of, you know, trying to fall back in love with your life again to some degree, because we've got the card of hard work. There's a heaviness here, and it can indicate that you're working really hard and there's a lot of responsibility, and you're not going to ignore that responsibility. You're still going to have that, but it can be that how do you reignite that spark, you know, that inspiration. You may notice over the last couple of years that some of the things that you used to love that brought excitement, because this is in the past, it can be that they hit in a different way right now. And you may be questioning, did you outgrow this situation, whether it's a hobby, whether it's a friendship, whether it is a food substance, whatever, a neighborhood environment, a job. You know, this is the period where things fall away. 2025, you know, we are in a period where Neptune and Pisces, it's like we're seeing through the stuff, exposed, you know, things going on around the world. You know, this is a card of like lighting up so that you can see in the darkness. So things are being exposed globally, but also things are being exposed to you personally, where you're recognizing what is not working for you anymore. You know, sometimes we dedicate our lives to a certain career path, and then suddenly we wake up and go, you know what? This doesn't feel the same way anymore. Lost a bit of love for this. Doesn't mean that you are failing by letting go of it or moving away from it. You're actually having the courage to evolve away from it, recognize it's not for you anymore. So some of you could be going through that right now, seeking the alternative, seeking something that's more fulfilling. I just saw the words good life there, so I feel you're seeking the good life, of course, but I feel there's an energy here of like a sudden realization or a sudden idea that's going to help you cut something out or make some changes that aligns you with your infinite power. It's going to be hard work, and I'm actually seeing in the water right now a card, and it says congratulations on it. So either you've just received a card that says congratulations, or you're about to, because there's some sort of good news coming on in. I feel like there is celebration here, and this is about being seen. So I would definitely say that you'll be recognized or appreciated for something, or there's some sort of celebration, and something that has been unseen, maybe like your success. Perhaps you haven't felt like you've reached the level you want to be at right now. It shall be seen. So I feel this is about you stepping into the limelight, into the spotlight in some way. But more than anything, I feel like you're switched on. You're someone who is aware, awakened, and there is this energy that, of course, with an awakening, which can be often a very lonely experience. And that's why, awakenings tend to make you feel very disconnected with the world around you. And I feel the collective right now are just feeling this background kind of noise that feels just like something's off. And it's like, well, what is that? Because you're doing your life. There's stuff going on. But then there's other things where you're like, something feels weird. Something feels off. It just feels like it's not the same. So you may be kind of like doing a lot of questioning right now there. But it says here, sudden good ideas, sudden realizations, power of innovation and invention. I feel a lot of you are revamping your life right now, body, mind, and soul. You may feel called to be more flamboyant in the way you dress, take up more space, say, claim that you're here, and just kind of like allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to shine. But also you may be changing the way you look, not just the dress sense. It could be you're changing the color of your hair or having a new style. Because I feel there's just a new version of you, and you may be even gravitating to things right now that perhaps when you were younger you didn't. So I just feel like you're evolving, maturing, and I just feel like there's a reinvention going on because you're having a rebirth. So, when you have a dragon card, it means there is this element of the phoenix rising from the ashes. So if you've been going through like a challenging period or just a bit of a roadblock right now, breathe, because you're about to have a major breakthrough that sees you advance in something. Like, for example, if you head to the gym, right, and you go and do your exercises, gyms are not the best for me. I'm not inspired by them, but I acknowledge that they are good for us. But it can be that you do a certain exercise or you have a routine there. Routines tend to be good because they have structure, but suddenly we get into that routine and that habit becomes something that we get used to. So for example, I'm only giving a gym analogy because it serves a purpose. I'm not talking about the gym in particular, but if you do certain exercises all the time, your body is going to get used to them. And then the body is like, well, you know what? We're not going to make any more progress because we've hit a plateau. We've reached that level. Okay, so unless you do something different, we're going to maintain that level. Okay, so it can be that you're looking at life where you feel like you've hit a certain level. And of course, on the earthly plane, we have the Buddha. So it can be that you're trying to be a source of peace. You're trying to quieten the noise. You're trying to protect your inner peace. But also you may feel like you're comfortable with a certain level at this moment in time. And there's a very important message coming out right now that in life in general, when you're comfortable, what do? What is it that you do? You feel like, okay, everything's fine. So you don't feel the need to change because you're comfortable. Change radically comes when you feel tension or hardship or struggle, when you feel, actually, I've had enough of this. It needs to change. And you may be feeling right now that you've got your life to a certain position, okay, where you're like, okay, I did this. You're celebrating yourself. You've come a long way. You've been through a lot. Okay, and to get to this position is a really great place because you're trying to bring mindfulness into your world. You're trying to sit with self, understand yourself in a different way, open yourself up to understanding in the world on so many layers from different viewpoints. but also people in your immediate circumstances. You're really reflecting, you're seeing, you've come to a core position where you're like, trying to live in the present moment a little bit more, because, you know, normally being a fire element, you're fast and furious, okay? You like things done, you're on the move, you like to get things done quite quickly, you hate delays, you're in the fray, you're making life happen. You do not sit and wait for life to happen to you. You're the sort of person who goes out there and you make life happen for you. So I feel right now that you're coming back to your core and your center, okay? But change only happens when we feel that we've got to a certain level where we feel contained. Because if you think about the soda is convenient. You know, the soda is sweet. You know, you crave soda sometimes. So it can be that you crave a fizziness, you crave something new, because things have got like, I don't want to say convenient for you, because life is challenging right now. It's really hard. And the things that you're reaching for, yes, you're going to be very successful in those, but I do see with the skull there that something big is ending for you, and I feel it's this sense of containment. Like you're seeking more excitement, more spontaneity, you know, you want to take more calculated risks. I feel there's this energy of some of you feeling that, yes, you found a certain level of comfort and peace in life. Okay, you're connecting to your higher vibrations, you're connecting to your higher self, but being in Aries, you may feel that life has got super quiet to the point where there is a stillness that is very rewarding for you, but it's hard because the nature, the true nature of you, it feels like it has lain dormant in some way. So it can be that as you evolve, you may be looking at how you used to party in the past, or how, you know, there was more opportunity for you in the past, or you were seen in the past. As you start to mature, you may feel like you go through life unseen, because of course this card is in the crossing position. You may feel like you're unappreciated. You may feel that, you know, one of the developments you're going through right now is the way people see you. Some of you, it could be the way you see yourself, because we have that beauty card there as well. So you may be implementing beauty routines or changing your beauty routine because your body is changing. Maybe your body needs something different now to nourish yourself. But ultimately, I feel you're still that fizzy person. You're still that playful, exciting person to be with. I mean, every Aries I've ever been with, they are so fun to be with. I love being with them. But also you have very deep conversations, very philosophical conversations. You know, you live life on all levels. And I feel with this soda bottle, the lid is on in some area of your life. And now I feel like you're about to like flip it off, you know, really take it to the next level, because the horse is the next card, which means you're raring to go on something. There's a freedom. So I really get, you know, you're thirsty for more in life. Right now, that's what I'm feeling. Now, of course, we all have responsibilities. Some of you may have children. You're guiding the next generation. But, you know, these are all responsibilities that we go through. Some of you may not have those responsibilities, but you may have other responsibilities. You may be a carer. You may be just trying to make life work right now because it is very challenging. Whatever that is for you, I feel like there's this energy of looking, number one, at your energy levels. That seems to be a core, like, reading focus right now, okay? So I feel like you're looking at your energy levels because you're going through a lot. And as you spiritually ascend, of course, you need to protect your energy because you're absorbing a lot of energy from people around you. Some of this energy, when you're feeling negative, may not even be yours. You may be at a very toxic working environment, for example, and every day you go in there, you feel frustrated, or you come home exhausted, or you're feeling like really negative, and you're like, what? I'm a really positive person. Why have I like come home and felt, ugh? And it can be that you're absorbing a lot of people's energy. Just watch out for that black obsidian, black tourmaline, very good for protecting your energy. Also, any selenite that really cleanses your energy there as well. I'm not here to sell you any crystals there, but you know, you can find it at a reputable source. They really benefit you. But this card, it says, seeking more excitement, thirsty for something, feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, got your energy levels back. So something that you're cutting out right now, or something that you're doing right now, sees you rejuvenated. So it could be that you're cutting out a food source, or it could be that you're slowing your pace for some of you. And when you slow your pace, it doesn't mean that life is getting boring. It means that you're honoring your energy, you're valuing your time, and you are prioritizing what is important and who is important. It starts with the self first, because only then can you help others, of course. But I feel Life is about to get very exciting for you. It says here, sensual energy. So this could be that your libido is returning. Some of you who are listening to this reading, you may have been managing stress levels, or you may have been managing, a symptom from unwellness in some way. And it can be that you're trying to get back to self, finding your way home to yourself, or finding your way home to a part of yourself that you feel like you lost touch with there. But it can be that libido or that spark is coming back. Or maybe it was always there, but you felt like you had to contain it because you're working on something. You need to focus on something right now because you're kind of like revamping your life in some way. But I feel this is about a new beginning for you in some way, but I feel it starts with a new you. Now it says here, freedom, determination, endurance. You may be working through something that you have been enduring for quite some time, and maybe cathartically, like letting it go, which frees you up because there's a freedom here. So it can be this period of development and growth means you're making peace with something in the past that perhaps at the time was convenient, perhaps at the time it was exciting, perhaps at the time it made you feel like on top of the world, but you've lost your taste for it, or you feel it's not good for you anymore. If you think about soda, I mean, it's not particularly the best for us, of course. Doesn't mean that we don't have it from time to time. A little bit of what you fancy is always okay, so there's no judgment here. But it can be that looking at the energy, you're reaching for more. So now you're trying to put anything that is either toxic or not good for you, or something that you've outgrown is in the past. And as you go through a path of spiritual enlightenment, it becomes quiet. And that's where I feel like you're at right now, where things are starting to bubble up for you and get really exciting, okay? Because there is advancement with this card. This is the fast and furious energy where you are, locked onto something, you're enduring the path, you are focused, diligent, consistent on something, and you're going to make it work. Now we have the bee here, so of course you're working really hard, but this is also about community. So a lot of you may be looking at, friendships evolving at this moment in time, and you may be kind of looking back and seeing what connected you to a friendship in the first place, and how it's outgrowing. And of course, it's really sad to outgrow people or situations and evolve away from them. But as we mature, we kind of align or misalign. And it normally means that a person is there for a reason or season. So you learned something from that person, or they were there at a certain part of your life where you needed them because your guides sent them to you. They made sure that they were in your life for a reason. And now the reason is changing, or you are changing, and now you are on to learning other lessons, as it were. But I feel there's something within you where you feel like you've reached a certain level in life in general where you're like, okay, I'm really grateful for where I'm at, but I am reaching for more or trying to move to like an upgrade in some way. And it is hard work, but I feel you're springing into action because I feel this energy of like convenience, or I don't want to say complacency because it's not that. I feel, especially with an Aries, okay, now I'm being reminded of a conversation I had with an Aries like millions of years ago, okay, which is really interesting. But this conversation with this person that I was actually in a relationship with, Aries, and they were talking about to be comfortable. And they were talking about in their career. And they said to me, to be comfortable is the worst. And I was like, what? And they were like, to be comfortable is the worst for me. And I was like, what does that mean? They're like, to be comfortable makes me feel like I'm settling. And I know that there's something, more exciting out there. So when I get to that level of feeling like, okay, I'm good, I always push myself for more. Because, there is this energy of like leaving the familiar to embrace the extraordinary. You didn't come to this lifetime to live a life half lived. So it can be that you've got to a certain level in your life, and I'm only mentioning that conversation because that person actually was an Aries, and I'm picking up this energy right now. So maybe that person's actually watching this reading, I'm not sure. But, it can be that you are feeling like things got a little bit same, a little bit Groundhog Day, and you're kind of like, okay, there is peace in that though, because you like structure, you like to know where you're at, the world is changing, evolving, and you're like, there's a lot of chaos out there, so it can be like, okay, I'm kind of good, but there's something here that's like, but I could reach for a little bit more excitement, or am I living a life that's contained right now? Can I have a little bit more freedom? Can I, express my passions, my desires? Can I find new hobbies and grow into them? Can I, reach for more success. This is a card that connects to the Knight of Wands, which is to be more flamboyant, more creative. You're already a very warm and generous person. This is an energy here of going the distance, enduring something, and being unstoppable, being headstrong, determined for new adventures. And I feel that's where you're at right now. But of course, hard work indicates you have responsibilities. The B is all about community, so I feel like you are trying to remain connected or find connection or deeper connections, more aligned connections. I feel, it says here, fulfilling destiny, reflection, positive thinking, and understanding. You're trying to understand your path, your true calling, understand people on different levels, but also find peace in your belief system, your life philosophy, what you feel here to do or called to do. And, yes, you have a lot of work. For example, a lot of you checking into this reading are light workers, and you have a lot of hard work. The world is in chaos right now, of course, on many different levels, but also it's contained. So that is something else to factor in. However, it's not really about you acknowledging that you have to go out there and make it right. You just have to shine your light. You just have to raise your vibrations. You just have to find a peace within yourself where you elevate and grow, and that will affect your inner and outer circumstances. Remember, everything that is inside of us emanates outside. They did a very famous experiment, and this came up recently as well, where there's two plants in a museum, and they actually got everybody to come into this exhibition. Both plants were watered in the same way, got the same sunlight, nurtured in the same way. The only difference was that the people coming to look at the exhibition, they had to go up to one plant and, tell them beautiful things like, "You're so gorgeous. I love you. Thank you so much for your beauty. Thank you for emanating all that wonderful oxygen," and, doing all of the stuff. And then the other plant, they had to go up and shout obscenities and be really mean to that plant. And that plant died really quick, and the other one thrived. So everything that comes from within us is a vibration. It is an energy. That's why I always say, when you're manifesting, feel it. How would it feel like to win the lottery? How would it feel like to get your dream job opportunity or meet the love of your life? Really feel it like you have it now, because your energy, your emotion is a vibration that connects outwards. It pushes it outwards, and it's like a boomerang that will come back to you, but it affects everything outside your circumstances. So I feel like you are the light. You're trying to be, a more peaceful, energetic being. And you want to spread that to your community. But also, of course, you're working really hard here. It says rewards for hard work. Sweet reward is coming in. This is the near future position for you. So whether it is that you're focused on your health, whether it is that you're focused on your career, love, all of the things, there is sweet reward for all that you are investing in right now. And I know it's hard, but the rewards are coming in. Your focus and dedication, it will pay off. Teamwork will also work really well for you. So whether that's you and your family pulling together your soul tribe, or whether you're searching for your soul tribe, I definitely see here that you will align with people who really get you, and there is an affinity. You work together. Now, this is your advice to yourself in this moment. We've got the DNA strand, which is all about the roots. It's about grounding. Right now, symbolically, it's about grounding. It's about knowing who you are at the very core of you. So you're currently on a journey of self-discovery, a quest for meaning. Basically, it starts with the self first, and then how you interact with the world around you on so many levels. So, you can be the same person, but be many different people to many different people, because it's their perspective of what they feel you are to them. So I feel like you are recognizing that, because you kind of see things quite philosophically, but also you're wondering, who are you to you? And that's why I feel like you're coming home to yourself at this time, to reignite that spark and find that passion, that joie de vivre. And, I feel like you've worked really hard on yourself spiritually during this path, and I feel like you've come to a level that you should be really proud of. But there's more to go, and I feel like, you're making some big changes here, and you will rise up. If you've been going through struggle, this is the phoenix rising from the ashes moment. But we've got identity, DNA, inheritance, ancestral karma. A lot of you are breaking through cycles of ancestral karma, removing money blocks, removing relationship blocks, removing, doubt or insecurities within yourself, or your, family lineage there, it stops with you. And you came to this lifetime to do a very challenging job, but I feel like you've got to a very rewarding position where you have nearly completed your task there. I feel like you've got a little bit to go because you got the hard work card there, but the skull indicates you shut down that cycle, and your ancestors are actually very proud of you because, you managed to do what you came here to do in this lifetime. But we've also got identity. So a lot of you are focused on yourself, what you like, what you love, what you enjoy, what brings you, intense excitement. But also it's, you may be thinking about the whole of you. Like, for example, ancestral kind of health issues. It could be that you're looking at any hereditary conditions that perhaps has the potential to be in your family lineage that you may have to be vigilant about. It could be that you're working really hard to make sure that you don't advance in those stages or that you get those things. You may be looking at your health, body, mind, and soul, because the DNA strand is all about not just identity, but, the very core of you, your genes, the health aspects. So I feel you're also looking at that at this time, paying a lot of attention, especially mindfulness and well-being, managing stress levels, trying to make sure you lower your cortisol levels at this time. And I feel like you're doing a great job, and there's more to go, but I really feel like you get on top of things there as well. Now we have heels. This is the circumstances outside of yourself. As soon as I touch this card, I'm hearing these boots were made for walking. That's just what they're going to do. So this could be that you're walking away from somebody, or you feel someone tried to control you, micromanage you, or have some sort of power over you that caused a bit of chaos within your soul, because there was this kind of like inner battle, but also this conquering energy. So I feel like you're walking away from a situation because the skull is there. It's like something is over for you, but it took some time. It was a lot of hard work, but I feel you're finally free of this. And you may have contained it for a long time, or maybe not even expressed it to other people. But I also feel, because we have so many cards of identity, we have the blooming rose there. I mean, you cannot be Aries in the past. You can't be Aries in the future. You are Aries right now, and you are at your peak. So this is about falling in love with who you are right now. Okay, because we have here wielding sensual attraction, sensually empowered, attraction and attractiveness, because we have beauty there as well, trying to impress. This could be that, you don't try to impress other people. However, you may have been trying to impress yourself over the last couple of years. You may be noticing that your body is changing. Maybe the way you feel about yourself is changing. So this could be a period where you are focused on your sense of identity, on your looks, on your routines, and it can be that you're determined to make something work, or you're determined to change something in some way so you can feel like you're back to best. But I also feel a lot of you are at your peak right now, so don't forget that aspect, okay? But I feel this is about you also retaining your magnetism and recognizing that you have a lot of gravitas. You always have done. If you think about a rose, people want to stop and they want to smell the roses. People want to stop when they see you. They notice you. You are someone who people gravitate towards. Now, of course, sometimes it gets a little bit people-y out there and you want to be on your own. But I feel this is an energy of recognizing that, the rose just exists. It grows. It goes through a very hard process to grow and bloom. It's got the thorns, which basically says, these are my boundaries. Don't touch there. Don't go there. Okay, I'm allowing you to come to the very bud of the rose. You can sniff me, but don't touch me. So my analogy there is basically you're erecting healthier boundaries, and everything you want, it starts with you. Knowing that you are worth it, are worthy of the things that you want, because the rose just exists and people gravitate towards it. The bee gravitates towards it. It needs to pollinate. It needs to, do what it needs to do. So it's like you are the rose. Recognize that you make an impact, that you are important, and that everything that is necessary will gravitate into your sphere. You are a magnet. Okay? So I feel like you're shifting the way that you interact with your life in general, because this can indicate here that, you are elevating in some way, because the heels, I mean, these heels are elevated, but I feel this is about you acknowledging that you attract opportunity, you attract people, you attract vibrations, you attract, and it starts with the self first. So I feel like you're trying to be more positive to attract more positive things. Easier said than done, I know, because sometimes, you're out there in the world trying to be shining your light and trying to be positive, and then suddenly something comes along and you're like, well, that was mean. Why did that person do that thing to me? And then it changes your vibration. And then suddenly you get grouchy. I know I do. And it can be that you have to find stillness in the moment and try and kind of like process it in a different way. Because the only thing we really have control over, okay, because the one constant in life is change, and you have the change card right there. The one thing we have control over is who gets to live rent-free in our minds, who gets to affect our energy. You have sovereignty over that. So, if someone comes along and is mean to you, you can be like, okay, you know what? That's all you. You're just projecting at me right now. That's nothing to do with me. That's my boundary right there. It's not affecting my energy at all. I do not give you permission to make me feel bad in any shape or form. You are protecting yourself, and you're shining your light, and you're not allowing anyone to rob you of joy or, dull your shine in any shape or form. But I feel like you've grown into this position because before in the past, you may have felt things so deeply. And I feel like you still feel things so deeply, but it's almost like you've grown into having a peaceful force field, as it were, where you're like, you know what, actually, that's all them. Not my circus, not getting involved in that, removing drama. It's just more peaceful when you just let go. And I feel like you're just letting go at this time. Now, if you are going for an opportunity where you're dressed to impress, there's a lot of success there. There's a lot of congratulations around you. If you're reaching for something, applying for something, or trying to, accomplish something that feels like you're taking 2 steps forward, 4 steps back, I feel like you're about to have a major breakthrough in that, okay? Now, circumstances that you are hopeful of or fearful of, we have a dragon, okay? Now, the dragon, it says untamed nature, chaos, potent powers, and aggression. Okay, now this can be that you are so powerful. You have a lot of passion inside of yourself, and it may have lain dormant. So you may be hopeful that that passion, that power, it comes back, because sometimes when you're working really hard, it's exhausting. You can't be passionate and powerful every single day, okay? So it can be that you feel a part of you has lain dormant. If you think about the dragon sleeping, it's like now it's awakening right now, and this is about you changing your landscapes. Also, you may feel the world is in turmoil or chaos, and you may feel that, you're very angry with some of the things that are occurring at this moment in time. I know we are all kind of vigilant and witnessing, and, there's a lot of mixed emotions about what's going on in the world on so many different layers. But if we approach these things with anger and fighting for change, we're still bringing in anger or a fight with us. Promoting peace, approaching with peace, open to peace, all of these things. Sometimes I'm very conflicted with words, shall we say, when someone says, I'm fighting for peace. Fighting, that is a negative word. It's a low vibrational word. So it can be that, you are promoting peace. You're open to peace. You're pursuing peace rather than fighting for something. So I feel this is about you changing your approach, your outlook, but also because there's so many very intrinsically specific and precise words coming out. I feel like you're even looking at the words that you use at the moment, the core root of the word and what it really means, where it came from, how it affects things. So I feel like you are just noticing things and shifting in a certain way. But I feel this is about your untamed nature coming to light, you rediscovering yourself and coming home to that passionate side of yourself. And I also feel, when you think about dragons, okay, you think about things that are actually potentially very scary, things that we don't understand. But actually, dragons, I've always seen them as protective forces. Dragons, they breathe fire, so they kind of like rebirth landscapes. They rejuvenate. Fire rejuvenates landscapes. It can be that right now you're needing a lot of strength in your world in order to rise up and create something new or find a new path, whether it is to move abroad or move to a new neighborhood, whether it is to do a new job, whether it is to be in retirement, whether it is you're already in retirement and you're thinking about re-entering the workforce, whether you are looking at the changes in the world, whatever the changes are that you're contemplating right now, you have the strength and the determination to succeed and take things to the next level, and you won't regret it. But we have here final ending, being vigilant, rebuilding from the ashes. And for some of you, it could be that you have had a bit of a wake-up call in some area of your life, especially with that light bulb. It can be that suddenly you're being a little bit more vigilant about something. You're working towards correcting it or working towards, aligning with it in a more healthy fashion. And you are going to reach your destination point. The Death card energy symbolizes, a new beginning. It means you're in a transition towards something greater. New chapters are opening for you. New portals are opening for you. Because I feel for some of you, things may have gotten a little bit stagnant or a little bit Groundhog Day. There's nothing wrong with that. Structure is really good. It means that we're, maintaining and sustaining. And in a world that's evolving quite quickly at the moment, I feel that is something that's necessary. But can we add to it? And I feel like you are adding to this at this time. What else have we got there? On a more practical level, some of you could be like working really hard because you're purchasing new clothes because you have the shoes there, or you are looking at beauty routines. Some of you may actually see some of the products that you use go out of production, and you may actually be a little bit stressed about that or frustrated with that, but you will find something better, something that works quicker, actually, if it's something that works, because looking at the energy, it's something that works. For some of you, it could be that you are trying to move to a place that has more light source. It could be that you are trying to cut out soda from your diet. It could be that, you want to connect to animals, or you may be going through a process where you're curious about healing with animals, in particular horses, maybe because horses came up there. So it could also be that you're fascinated with bees and, the colonies right now. And it can be that colonies of bees, of course, they are endangered at this moment in time. So it could be that you are making sure that you kind of like, if you see a bee in trouble, that you help them, give them a little bit of substance if they're like exhausted, for example. Or it can be that you are growing flowers that help attract bees so that you can increase the bee population. There's so much going on this level of this reading. I feel like you're really connected to the world around you, and all these worries and thoughts and things, maybe things that just like fly on by in your mind, but they all inform you. And I just feel that the way you're conducting your life right now is something that does make an impact in your immediate circumstances and in the world at large. And even your Gaia chimes was a little bit more peaceful than the collective's Gaia chimes, because the Gaia chime, I check it every time before I do a reading, and it's in tune. And then I will literally open up a reading for a specific sign, and then all these horrible clashing notes come out like blah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awful. But it's actually picking up on the vibration that is out of sync in order to align it. Okay, and your Gaia chimes were actually really enjoyable to open with. And I thought, wow, there's something in the background that just seems a little bit off kilter, but I feel like you're aware of this, you're working on it, whatever it is. And I felt ultimately that there was a more peaceful energy about you, even though I feel like you're going through a lot, but I feel there's something here where maybe you're making peace with yourself on something. Maybe there was an inner battle. You're rising above that. Or whether it is that you are protecting your inner peace from things outside of you that potentially could trigger you at this time. But I feel like you are someone who is on course to attract a lot of good things in your world. You're working hard for it, and you deserve it. All this good stuff that's coming in. But we have the Courage card. Okay, courage to face things head on, process them, courage to go after your dreams, your goals, courage to do stuff. When you feel anxious or antsy, or you feel like you've hit a certain level or plateau, you're not the sort of person to coast. You're the sort of person that kickstarts into action and like raises up and is like, no, I need to do something. So it says here, you are granted the courage to take bold strides forward. That's what this card does, the Horse card, which is the equivalent of the Knight of Wands there. Having the courage, being a light bringer, you know, also being someone who is flamboyant and wants to take more risks or have new adventures or is open to new experiences. And it says, this is a time to leave behind the comfort of the familiar. Oh my gosh. It literally says this. I'll show it to you now in a moment. To rise above fear and to seize the opportunities that lay ahead of you. Your perspective holds the power to transform any situation into a progressive step on your journey. I'm going to show you that real up close, okay? Hope you can see it and it doesn't blur. But that's pretty much what your whole reading was about. Okay, so I'm quite excited about that. I'll probably use this card for you so that you can see it closer on the thumbnail. But we've also got compassion, so you're leading with your heart. Your heart knows the way, okay? And of course, the heart, you know, it pumps with electrical energy, you know, so it can be that, I mean, I'm not scientific, so maybe that's not correct. I'm not sure. But whenever I think about the heart, it's like this pump, okay? And, you know, it has electrical currents. So therefore, it's about, you know, getting electric in life. It's about being in the flow. It's about listening to your heart. But it says here, your angels encourage you to cultivate compassion in your heart and spread its warmth and love wherever you go. As I said, a light bringer. Everything outside of yourself. I mean, the whole reading is clarified by these cards as well. It says, it is the bridge that connects us all to one another. When you act with compassion, you tap into the infinite wellspring of love that resides within you and brings light to the world. That message was very strong in this reading. We also have, so you may actually start to see 333, 44. Okay, you may start to see those numbers and 2222. These are, you know, beautiful cards from the Divine Illumination Oracle deck there. But it says here, rejuvenation. That's what I said. I feel like you're revamping your life or rebirthing in some way. Balance is going to restore itself as you naturally find your way back to your heart center. Yep, you're finding your way home to yourself. Slow down. I mean, look, you're finding a pace. I mean, you're on it. I feel like you don't even need these cards because you're like, yeah, Bubba, I'm there. I'm doing it. It's happening. Okay. It says, slow down and make yourself a priority. Serenity and stability will help you achieve your higher divine purpose. Embrace the joy and the peace that this brings. So you're due a breakthrough. If you've been struggling, I see it is going to come very shortly, this breakthrough that's going to bring a lot of peace. There's a lot of changes here, but there's something heavy that perhaps you have been carrying around with you. And right now, it's time to release. So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or room before we close. Ooh, we got the skull and crossbones. So this could be you looking at toxicity in your life, whether it is toxic food substances, whether it is, you know, toxic relationships, environments, maybe pollution for some of you. It could be that you are decluttering your life, but also detoxifying in some way, maybe removing kind of like metals from your body. I don't know why that came through, but it just did. So it can be that you're doing all of these things right now. But the skull indicates the end of something, something that is going to lead to a brand new beginning, something you're excited about, something that you envisaged. And I feel the door to more is starting to open up because I feel like you're thirsty for it. Okay, so I'll leave it there, my beautiful Aries. I hope something resonates in this reading for you. Also, if you'd like to be with an opportunity to win a free competition from me, all you have to do is put a candle in the comments box below, an emoji of a candle. You don't have to actually put a candle in there, but it probably won't fit. But, you know, an emoji of a candle. And if you don't have access to an emoji with a candle, just write the word candle, because the one thing the world needs right now is light. And I feel like you already know that because of that card right there, okay? But if you could do that, I will announce a winner at the end of September. So you have ample opportunity to enter, and you can enter multiple times if you feel like it. You don't have to, but it's up to you. So end of September, my guides will give me a name that I'll gravitate towards. It has to be a subscriber because I just cannot find people on YouTube unless you're subscribed. Don't know what's happened to the algorithm. It just doesn't allow you to find the person. So subscribe before entering if you're not subscribed already. And of course, if you don't win and you don't want to be subscribed anymore, you don't have to be. But, you know, I'm just highlighting that I can't find your name to contact you for a reading. if you're not subscribed. So it has to be a subscriber. So I just thought I'd mention that there. Also, as an aside, I know you're very busy right now, but if you have a moment, play your favorite song. Really listen to it loud and proud, raise your vibrations, really feel it in your soul, because remember, what's inside of you, it emanates out. So, if we all did that, we help raise vibrations and be the light that the world needs right now, okay? And that feels like a very heavy responsibility, but just do you. Prioritize you. That happiness comes naturally. The vibrations come naturally. You don't have to force it, okay? So I'll leave it there, my beautiful Aries. Thank you so much, and love and light.